Shio, welcome to Cherokee Kitchen. I'm Robin Callahan, Nutrition and Fitness Coordinator and Registered Dietitian with Cherokee Choices. Cherokee Choices is a chronic disease prevention program, a part of the Public Health and Human Services Division for the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indian. Today on our show, we're going to be talking about ways to reduce your risks for heart disease, and we'll be baking a Smokehouse maple salmon with our guest chef, Miss Yolanda Sanook. So there are about 735,000 individuals in the U.S. that have a heart attack every single year. And it's so important to know those signs and symptoms. Our major symptoms for a heart attack, most of us identify with are chest pain or discomfort. But you can also have pain or discomfort in your arms, in your back, in your neck, your jaw, or even your upper stomach. Shortness of breath, nausea, lightheadedness, or even cold sweat. So on a personal note, my grandfather died of a heart attack, and I wish there would have been somebody there to know those signs and symptoms. So today in the kitchen, we're going to be talking about 2 keys for heart health, a heart healthy diet. 1, increasing those mono and polyunsaturated fats and decreasing the saturated and trans fats. And 2, looking at ways that we can decrease our sodium in our diet. So many of you may be familiar with those saturated and trans fats. Those are fats that we see in high-fat animal products. And it's not that we can never eat those foods, but just having small amounts of those foods in moderation. Trans fats are partially hydrogenated oils that we can see on our food label, where they actually take a liquid oil, make it into a solid with that transfiguration. Those trans fats are in a lot of our foods, like our French fries, our cakes, our cookies, and pies. So replacing those fats with our heart healthy fat, for example, we'll be using today some olive oil. This is a monounsaturated oil, helping to fight inflammation in our body, and then incorporating fatty fish such as salmon. Other fatty fish we may want to avoid just because the high mercury content would be swordfish, mackerel, instead of going with our white albacore tuna, going with our light tuna in a can. When we start looking at ways to decrease the sodium in our foods, we want to try to cut out those packaged processed foods. Looking at a food label, for a heart healthy diet, we're aiming for 2 grams to 1,000 milligrams of sodium or less a day. 1 teaspoon of table salt has 2,300 milligrams of sodium. So learning how to cook with herbs and spices is a great way to add flavor to our food without adding a lot of sodium. So I'm going to turn it over today to our guest presenter, Miss Yolanda Sanook. So happy to have her with us today. Yo is a behavior change specialist, lifestyle coach, and personal trainer here at Cherokee Choices. She's an enrolled member of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians and resides in the Yellow Hill community. So thank you, Yo, for coming here today. Shki.
Shio Nagata, Yolanda here. I hope you were able to take in all that great information that Robin provided to us earlier about super rich nutrient foods that are great for heart health. Today we are taking on one of those recipes that is great for heart health, but is also rich in omega-3s. It is one of our more popular dishes. It is our Smokehouse maple baked salmon. Now, within many of our programs here at Cherokee Choices, we hear from community members that they would love to incorporate meals such as salmon into their daily lives. The only thing is they're not quite sure how to make it or to cook it properly. So today we picked a recipe that is very simple, requires few ingredients, and is tasty and rich in omega-3s. Hope you enjoy. So to begin with our Smokehouse baked salmon, everything you see here was purchased at our local Food Lion. We have our salmon fillet, which was in the frozen section. We have our extra virgin olive oil. We have our lemon, our parsley, garlic, our Smokehouse maple seasoning, our basil, and our pepper. So we also have our 6-ounce fillet resting here, and so while it rests here, we'll build our marinade. So what we have here is 2 cloves of garlic minced, and we've combined a teaspoon of the dried basil, a teaspoon of our Smokehouse maple seasoning, and a teaspoon of the pepper. We also have a tablespoon of our fresh chopped parsley and 2 tablespoons of our extra virgin olive oil. So I'm just going to grab one of these lemons here. We only need half. So we're going to squeeze it into our bowl. All right. And now we're just going to combine all the ingredients. And now we are just going to mix that and get everything incorporated as well as we can. So now we're going to bring our salmon back. And we are just going to lather this marinade onto it. Okay, so a few minutes before I was going to take the steak out of the refrigerator, I went ahead and preheated my oven to 375 degrees. So now all we'll need to do is take our salmon and place it on our tin foil. And we'll wrap it. And then we'll put it in our baking dish and place in the oven and cook between 35 to 45 minutes. All right, so the timer just went off in the oven, so I had it set for 35 minutes, so let's check and see what it looks like. Nice and done. The salmon is nice and flaky, and that was one key to take note when it is completely done, is the flakiness of the fish. And there you go.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe or more information about ways to decrease your risk for heart disease, don't hesitate to contact us at Cherokee Choices. On behalf of myself, my colleague Yolanda Sanook, Cherokee Choices, and the EBCI Communications Department, we thank you for joining us today in the Cherokee Kitchen. And thank you for making Cherokee a healthier place to live, work, and play. Shki.